One of the first wildlife species I photographed was a lynx when I was 14 years old. Ever since, I've longed to capture a more intimate photo of this animal that invites a viewer into its mysterious world. I spent the last few months exploring the Kenai National Wildlife Refuge looking for this cat. I started noticing more and more lynx tracks and even had a few fleeting encounters. I've never seen this level of lynx activity before, and I don't know when I'll have this opportunity again. Time to go all in. I'm setting up 3 trail cameras to pinpoint lynx activity. I'll put my first camera on a beaver dam, which usually attracts all kinds of wildlife.
Holy crap, there's a goshawk! Just flew. He's flying.
My next 2 cameras will go on either end of this lake where I saw tracks not too long ago. Lynx are highly elusive, rarely seen even in their core habitat of Alaska and Canada. 3 cameras might seem like a lot, but I wouldn't be surprised if each comes up empty.
I don't want to see any tracks in front of this camera without footage of that thing.
But trail cameras are just the first step. For a professional image, I'll have to use a complex camera housing unit with multiple flashes triggered by a passive infrared sensor. It's called a camera trap, and I'll set it up at whichever trail cam is most promising. But first, I have to test it.
Ooh, that worked.
My dream scenario would be to find a spot where lynx are returning over and over, like a latrine, which is basically a lynx's makeshift cat litter. Or even better, a den. But where are they?
In places you can't find. I've trapped for years, and you'll pick up on these things on where they like to travel. They love to run edges of lakes because it's usually dense there, and it's a good place, a lot of cover for snowshoe hares. They're very secretive animals. You don't see them too often. If you look at the feet of a lynx, you know, they're huge. They have some pretty vicious claws, and they're extremely fast. And again, they don't weigh that much. They don't weigh near as much as you would think they do. And they stay on top. They're really built for catching animals in the snow. They're really dependent on the snowshoe hare population.
The lynx and hare populations here are synced in a 10-year cycle of extreme highs and lows.
And we've known that actually for quite some time. We've had early fur trappers and then 1800s document that as well.
Hares can constitute the entirety of a lynx's diet. And so when the hares are abundant, the lynx numbers explode.
And so we map every year where we are at in the cycle. We're in a high, we're midway through the high right now. Lynx are, like most cats, are pretty curious, fairly secretive. Some people call them the ghost. They still remain a ghost for me.
Right now in the refuge, lynx numbers are directly in the middle of that population explosion. This explains why I've seen such remarkable lynx activity here. It was also during the last population spike that I encountered my first lynx when I was 14. I don't want to wait another decade for this shot. Hopefully, I got something on the trail cameras.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. You wanna see?
It's hard to emphasize just how remarkable this was. I was getting lynx practically every other day.
I'm feeling so much better about everything right now. Just takes a little bit of patience, but there are so many lynx out here. If you wait long enough, you're gonna get something. We got a lynx. I see a track, I think. A lot of animals are going to be choosing a side to walk on, either the left side of the lake or the right side. And these fresh lynx tracks right here, they hug really nice and tight around the edge of these dense patches of trees where all the snowshoe hares like to hang out. And they're just looking for any sign of prey. So I'm just gonna decide on the left side here.
It's time to put my intuitions to the ultimate test and set up my camera trap.
Looking good. Then we've got our rim light here. I'm just gonna put up a little ice guard so that none of that flash is hitting the lens directly. We've got our main diffused light. Just gonna give it a quick little test. Come on. Try it one more time. One more time. One more time. It's not going. I didn't turn it on. All right, there we go. Camera's taking photos. Beautiful. Wow. Now it just has to work at the perfect moment when a lynx walks by. Let's see, between all the plug connections, the transmitters, the receivers, the triggering system, all the camera settings, batteries, easily 100 things need to all work together. Sounds pretty easy.
This is my first time camera trapping, and honestly, I'm nervous. Not only could this be my only chance to capture a lynx photo before the next population crash, but there are so many things that can go wrong with camera trapping, as I would soon find out the hard way.
Oh man, the main key light fell over. Gonna have to go reset that. But that flash isn't doing a thing.
In the following days, I encountered all the hazards I had feared for the camera trap. Rain and snow coated the lens, making a clean image impossible.
I'll tell you what, that wind needs to turn the other way.
Batteries constantly failed, and the wind knocked the backlight over, and then later blew it all the way into the melted corner of the lake. Without addressing these failures, I wouldn't get an image when a lynx passed through. But every time I revisited the camera trap, I knew I was leaving more of my scent near the camera, and possibly deterring them from the area altogether.
Oh my gosh. A lynx came by. Okay, this is just the trail camera. I have no idea if it would have triggered the sensor, but I'm really hoping it did. Okay, I gotta check this thing. No way. Please be a lynx on my camera trap. So many things could have gone wrong. Oh my gosh. I got a lynx on the camera trap. But it's only the front half of its body, and I only got one frame fired off. That is disappointing. Damn.
I wasn't about to give up on the camera trap, but while it was active, I decided to explore the refuge in hopes of a lynx encounter. I know better than to expect a sighting, but lynx or no lynx, I'm privileged to be able to work in one of the most beautiful places on Earth. Pulling out of the lake, I looked up to see a figure crossing the road.
Don't go too far, kitty. Don't go too far. Roll your window down. There he is, there he is. I'm gonna go around the corner. Where'd he go? There he is. The snow is just impossible to walk in. It's usually just such a fleeting moment with these guys. Pure adrenaline. No good photos, but you really just can't expect that from every lynx encounter. One every few, that's a good ratio in my book. Let's go check the trap. So I'm seeing some white tracks walking right towards the sensor. Oh my gosh. This is a lynx track. That is just incredible. Let's go check the camera. Got lynx spot, lynx spot, lynx spot, and lynx spot. Man, everything's working out technically though. It's just amazing that it's all been performing, but it's just not what I want.
You know, perseverance is huge with camera trapping. You need to have a lot of patience, and yeah, I mean, anything that can go wrong probably will go wrong.
It's just really tough to make out any tracks here. I think I see them.
There's a lot of shortcuts you can take. You know, as a general rule, when I'm camera trapping, I don't bait, I don't use lures, and I just try to stay away from that can of worms. If you can find a natural lure, like, that's your ticket.
I think it cut across.
If you find an area where there's like 3 or 4 or 5 scats piled up, that's a really good bet. You know, the animals are going back and they're refreshing that area routinely. And they really seem to like these raised mounds. They are hard to find.
We've got 1, 2, 3.
For over a week, I've been 10 yards from one of the most coveted camera trapping spots available, a lynx latrine.
These ghost cats, for all the time that I spend tracking them, I'm lucky if I have 3 to 5 sightings a year. They're elusive for sure.
Moving my camera trap to this spot could be the key to getting my shot.
So I just can't ignore this sign that I'm seeing. It has consistently gone across this creek every single time. I'm almost certain it has taken the crap on this rock. It's not going to be the same composition, but I think I need to just compromise. So I'm just going to go for it. We've been so close. It's going to take a couple more days of just pushing hard. Let's get out of here. You got to have optimism with this kind of insane work. But if you keep at it for long enough, luck becomes less and less of a factor. Okay, stop. I think they're kitty tracks. A lynx was just walking the road.
I had just witnessed something I never thought I'd see in person. A lynx's mating call. Being able to watch such rare vocalizations, that was more impactful than any photo. My 2-week camera trapping license was about to expire, but on the last possible day, I got one last image on my camera trap. The photo wasn't everything it could have been, but I'm proud of what I was able to accomplish. Spending time in the footsteps of such a mythical creature and learning so much about its behavior was invaluable. Whether it takes 1 year or 10 years during the next population peak, I know one thing's for sure. I'll come back for this cat.
I'm Carmen Vanbianchi. I'm the research director for Home Range Wildlife Research, and we're based out of Winthrop, Washington. Right now, our flagship research project is looking at lynx in the North Cascades and how they're using their newly transformed megafire impacted landscape. Unlike lynx up on the Kenai, where populations are healthy, here in Washington, they have been listed as endangered in the state. So the time is now to figure out what we can do to help mitigate some of these wildfire impacts. To do this, of course, takes a massive amount of effort. It takes teams of folks out there in the winter trapping and collaring lynx, backtracking lynx. So if you're interested in donating and supporting this work, you can go to homerange.org, and you can follow us on Instagram at Home Range Wildlife.